Hey guys, today I have a matching Whirlpool washer and electric dryer set. Right now we've got the washer set up on a deep water wash cycle. One rinse option. We've got it set to cool, which is going to actuate both the hot and the cold water valves together. So it's actually a little faster to put it on that setting. Extra light tells it how long to stay in this cycle and wash. So I always go somewhere in here. It just kind of depends on really how dirty your clothes are. If you got kids or construction, maybe you might go heavy just to make sure all that stuff gets out of the clothes. We do have a center agitator. It's filling up with water right now. Got a pretty heavy towel load in here, mostly bath towels and some hand towels. And so it's filling up right now. I have an additional little lid locker here that I put right there so it thinks the lid's closed. So I'll be able to show you what's going on with the machine, show you that it agitates, fills all the way up with water, drains the water out, and has a nice, fast, smooth final spin cycle. All things you'd want to know is if you're standing here yourself checking it out, you get to see that everything's working perfect on it. And I'm also going to give you some tips for installing this as well and what you might need for that. Once this is all done, I'm going to move the clothes over to the dryer, kind of show off and showcase the dryer and give you some tips on that one as well. So we'll let this go ahead, finish filling up with water, and we will come back. Now for the hookup of your washer, you might consider a set of steel braided hoses like this pack here. I've got a link to both of these in the description. If you have trouble finding it, you can just click that. Also supports the channel, so we really appreciate that. But you can see here you've got blue for cold water, red, so it's easy to keep them apart. Now the steel braided is important because the cheap rubber ones have a tendency to swell and burst, and you definitely don't want that happening, especially if you're not home. And then a surge protector, there's many different styles, and I got a couple linked in the description. I kind of like this one because I'm always plugging other things in, but you can also get dedicated ones. You just want to make sure that it's 900 joules or higher, and that's going to protect your washing machine and the electronics on it. This one also has I believe that's a 4-foot cable on it too. So something like that to protect the electronics on it, super important. And this pretty much covers the washer. All right, now we've switched over to wash, and so from here, it's probably not gonna add any more water, although it might stop and add a little bit more to proof. We've got full submersion, and if you're using your regular HE soap at home, you've had some sudsiness here. I just use about a capful of bleach on these test cycles here. I always do 4 cycles, make sure everything's working perfect. We always check for leaks underneath, make sure everything sounds good. The spin cycle's gotta be fast and smooth and no weird noises or anything like that. So I just run a little cap full of bleach. Doesn't get things sudsy at all. That way we can see clearly what's going on. But you've got plenty of water submersion. It's going to push these clothes up the center and drag them down around the outside. That's how the agitator works on this one. But yeah, doing an excellent job agitating, and it's nice and quiet too. All right, now we got that drain running. It's pulling the water out. Running nice and fast there. It'll move out of the wash cycle, fill back up for the rinse cycle, agitate for a bit, then we'll come back for that final spin cycle. All right, and here we are on the final spin cycle. You see it spinning nice and fast, smooth from the outside. And we can lift this up because of that little lid lock striker there. You can see, spinning super fast. Doing an excellent job extracting the water out of those clothes. Nice balanced load here. So we'll let that finish up, then we'll move over to the dryer. All right, now when talking about hooking up the dryer, a couple of things you're gonna need. You're gonna need to find out what type of power cord you're gonna need. These are all considered accessories, and they do not come with a new dryer or a used dryer typically. This is a 3-prong power cord. It's like that there, has 3 hookups for the back, and it's 30 amp. You wanna make sure you don't get a 50 amp that has a straight one here. That's for a stove. You wanna make sure you get the right one for a dryer. And I've got these linked in the listing description also for you there. Now this is a 4-prong, so it looks a little different, but it still has the L there versus a straight one, because they also sell this in a 50 amp for a stove. Very similar, so wanna make sure you get the right one for a dryer. You can take a picture of your plug in your laundry room and match it up, make sure you get the right one. This goes on the back of the dryer, and then it extends out to wherever your wall hookup is. Super important to make sure you get one. It's easy to use. A lot of them have a flathead screwdriver on it to tighten it down. I like these wings here. You could just do it by hand. It's so much easier because every 3 or 4 months you're going to want to take this off and clean it out, so this makes it a lot easier to do. And then lastly, I always recommend a good dryer sheet, and I do not do fabric softener in any of the washers that I use or the one at home. Fabric softener is like putting glue in your machine. Eventually it gums everything up. Use 2 or 3 of these and you get the same softness effect on your clothes, but it doesn't mess anything up. So that's kind of the essentials there for your dryer. Okay, now we've got the washer cleared out. You see a nice large capacity there. You can also pause if you want to read here about how these new HE machines work. I kind of explained it a little bit, but that's done. So that's closed up there. We come over here and we've got this on a time dry set to high heat. And you can also turn on and off the signal. So time dry, you set it all the way up here, heavy duty. Think full basket of towels or your jeans and t-shirts or sweatshirts, that kind of thing. Down here you have an air fluff. This would be for super delicate items like curtains and really light things you don't want any heat on or extremely low heat. Then over here on automatic dry, this is kind of more or less a time dry also. It's gonna set you at about 60 minutes. The real difference here is that you get wrinkle shield. So that's gonna run 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off, 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off for 90 minutes. It gives you more time to get back and fold these up before the wrinkles set in. That's really the only difference nowadays in these. There's no actual moisture sensor in there anymore telling it how damp the clothes are. Used to be, but they don't have that anymore. And of course you just set here your temperature to whatever you want. Towels and heavier items you can go high, but if you got a bunch of athletic stuff in there that's mostly polyester and stuff, you could go low. So you have some options right here. Lint trap, you want to make sure that gets clean before each and every load so that you got good airflow. And I'm going to show you that it is in fact heating like it's supposed to. So we'll open it up. You can see it's tumbling those towels right inside the heating element tube here. Super hot coming out of that tube. It's gonna heat the inside of your dryer up. Air mixes and exits right there, which is where the lint trap is gonna catch any additional lint, and it goes down and out the back of your dryer where you would hook that vent hose up. So close that up, hit go, let that start back up. So we'll go ahead and let that finish up, and I'll get these listed up for sale. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out. I do appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. Thanks, you guys have a great day.